So I'm going to show you how to draw things that appear to be 3D on a 2D surface using a technique called linear perspective or one-point perspective. You're going to need a ruler, a pencil, and an eraser and a piece of paper to draw on. All right. So the first thing you're going to do is on your piece of paper, you're going to use your ruler and you're going to draw a straight line going all the way across your paper. It's really important to hold your ruler nice and straight and firm. All right, after you've drawn the line, then you want to find the center point and make a little dart there. This line is called the horizon line. And it separates the sky from the ground. This dot is called the vanishing point. All right, to draw something 3D, the first thing we need to do is start with a geometric shape. So a square or a rectangle is the easiest to begin with. Using your ruler, you're going to draw a square or rectangle in the bottom section of your paper. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to connect the corners of your rectangle or square to the vanishing point. So think of each of these as almost having like a little dot on them themselves. And we're going to connect the dots to the dots. So using your ruler, going to connect the corner to the vanishing point. We're not going to connect this corner because by drawing a line through here, this is going to make our geometric shape look like it's transparent. All right, so right now this looks like a 3D, almost like a rectangle that's kind of shooting out at us. Next, I'm going to show you how to create a rectangular prism or a cube so it looks like it's sitting by itself on the ground. All right, so on this side of the paper, I'm going to go ahead and make a square. Again, I'm using my ruler to draw my shape. All right, now when I draw my lines to connect to the vanishing point, I'm going to draw them really lightly. So both of these look like they're zooming out towards us. This one looks closer than this one does because it's higher up on the paper. This one is lower on the paper, so it looks like it's closer to us. Now, in order to make it look like a cube, I'm going to draw a series of parallel lines. It's very important that you use your ruler just the way I do. Otherwise, what happens is the lines end up wrong. So I'm going to line up my ruler on my side of my square, and I'm going to carefully slide my ruler sideways to create the side of my cube, like that. So this line and this line are parallel lines. Next, I'm going to line up my ruler on the top edge, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slide my ruler until it meets my other line, and then again, I'm going to draw a straight line. So now I've got this line and this line and this line are parallel. Sometimes it's hard to tell because of the other lines and angles. If we look at it this way, you can see that this line, and this line are all parallel. And if we look at this the same thing, you can see that this line and this line and this line are all parallel. We have our cube. Now we take our eraser and we erase these other lines. All right, that's the basics. I'm going to show you a few more complicated shapes, and then the goal is for you to try out these on your own. All right, on the top of my sheet, I've drawn a much more complicated geometric shape with the goal that we're still going to try to make it appear 3D. So we're going to use our ruler, just like we did before, and connect the dots from the corners to the vanishing point. All right, when we get to the actual shape itself from this corner, I'm not going to go through the shape because otherwise this isn't going to look solid. Now again, we want to make it not look like it's zooming out from here for forever. Instead, we want to make it its own isolated shape. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to slide my ruler to create a parallel line. Slide my ruler to create a parallel line. Slide my ruler to create a parallel line. And finally, this last one. This last one is kind of strange because it's very narrow, and I don't think it's going to be as wide as this. So I'm just going to go ahead and leave that one alone. All right. Notice how all the shapes on my page are connected towards this vanishing point. Now your next step, if you want, is to begin to shade using value. Here's an example of one that I did earlier the day. The light one has the top has the lightest value, and the side has a medium value, and the front has the darkest value. So you're trying to color it in kind of all the same. Here's another one.